We crowned the grand champion of the Super Bowl era, and now we're going to be crowning the grand champion. We took the best of the best and put them in a 176 team tournament to come out with just one remaining. Now we're doing the exact same thing, but we're going to be taking the worst of the worst. We'll explain the who and how in just a moment, but first we've got to introduce C-Score. C-Score is a metric created by this channel to evaluate every single team of the Super Bowl era that does a whole lot more than just look at its record. For a deeper explanation about how all this works, be sure to check out the description of this video. We're going to split these 176 teams up into 16 different groups of 11 teams each. Everybody plays each other once, 5 games at home and 5 games on the road, similar to how a conference schedule works in college football. The top 4 qualify for a 64-team single elimination tournament, but the catch here is that the top 4 is really the bottom 4. In this tournament, losing keeps you alive while winning helps you escape, and the key is not to advance. Games in the group stage do not have overtime, so if it's tied at the end of 4 quarters, the game remains a tie. Tiebreakers are head-to-head and then point differential. Now for who gets in. This is only for the Super Bowl era here. Earning the number 1 overall pick in the draft gives a team automatic entry. That team could have traded the pick or had it taken away from them by an expansion team, but it matters not here. These teams are ranked 1 to 59 by their C-score. The lower the C-score, the higher the ranking. Then we got teams who didn't get the number 1 pick but still tied for the league's worst record. There are 25 such teams and they got slotted 60 to 84. Then there are some teams who had the lowest C-score in any given season, but neither got the first pick nor had the worst record. Those 17 get in from 85 to 101, and lastly are the wild cards, which are basically the teams with the lowest remaining C-scores. We did require each franchise to provide at least 2 teams because we're all about spreading out the sadness. So one Vikings team had to be forced into the tourney, as did 2 Ravens teams. We used a pot system to create the groups. The first 16 teams are randomly placed in one group, then the next 16, and so on till the end. All simulations are done on Tecmo Super Bowl 3 for the Super Nintendo. With so many roster modifications to do, player names and abilities were my only concern. Players' jersey numbers, skin tone, and listed position may not always be accurate. Like the last video, this one was a monster, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the begging done right now. Please give this video a like, share it around, subscribe to the channel, and ding that notification bell. Thank you for joining us today. We're now ready to present to you some terrible, terrible football teams. We're going to burn through these group stages for the most part. When we get to the final 8 teams, we'll get to the on-field highlights. On the left, we have each team's overall ranking, and on the right is each team's C-score. Remember, a higher ranking means a worse team. Group A got on the field, and 3 teams tied for the top spot in our reverse rankings. But they played musical chairs, with the 2010 Cardinals losing to the 09 Lions, the Lions losing to the 67 Falcons, and the Falcons losing to the Cards. So we went to point differential, which puts the Lions on top. Another Falcons team from 1974 also goes through. We're only bothering to apply tiebreakers when determining who will advance from the group stage. Group B gives us this hot mess collection, but from it comes a clear team at the top with the 2012 Jaguars going 1-9. The 86 Bucks defeated the 92 Patriots, giving the Patriots the number 2 spot. Then we have the 2020 Jets at 3-6-1, snagging 4th place. Group C has a more old school feel to it, but there are some modern teams in there as well, and it turns out they split the top 4 between them. The 73 Oilers and 77 Buccaneers are 1-2, while the 2013 Jaguars and 2011 Rams tied at 3-7. The Rams beat the Jags, sending Jacksonville into 3rd place. Group D has an even more old school selection with just one team representing the 21st century, and they did so poorly, as the 2010 Panthers finished in second place, but they weren't worse than the 1970 Boston Patriots, who couldn't win a single game. The 85 Bucks and 68 Steelers round things out. No tiebreakers necessary in a group that had a lot of ties. Group E is apparently the group of very dark helmets. There were no ties in this one, but lots of tiebreakers needed. The 87 Falcons lost to the 98 Bengals to take the top spot. Then we have the 76 Falcons with the group's worst point differential, but they swept the 2015 Titans and the 75 Saints to escape the top four. New Orleans beat Tennessee in their tiebreaker. Group F contains the number 1 overall ranked team, the worst of the worst, the 1976 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They did win a game though, at home against the 2001 Panthers, with those teams finishing 1-2. That 3-5-2 record for the 05 Niners is the same as a 4-6 record, so we had to apply another 3-way tiebreaker. The 84 Oilers swept the Niners and the 66 Dolphins, so they're safe, and the Niners get third by losing to the Dolphins. Group G is led by the G-Men, but no other G's are to be found. It's the 2023 Panthers that top the group, followed by the 2000 Browns, the 68 Eagles, and then the 66 Giants, who almost were able to win their way out of the bracket. Only 2 teams have ever gone 0-16, and Group H gives us both of them. Group H must stand for Group Hater. However, the 76 Jets take the first spot. The 08 Rams lost to the 06 Raiders, placing those teams at second and third respectively, and joining the party are the 1991 Buccaneers. Getting to play a much easier slate of opponents, the Lions go 4-6 and the Browns go 5-5 to escape the tournament. Amazing stuff. Now for the second half of groups, 4 teams from the 2010s onward populate Group I, and 3 of them will be moving on. The 2011 Colts lead the way, the 2023 Commanders take third behind the 72 Eagles by virtue of their head-to-head win, and the 2012 Raiders also come along for the ride. Group J has got some serious sad sacks, and the saddest sack of them all would be the 2004 49ers at 1-9 and a triple-digit negative point differential. No tiebreakers required. The rest of the top 4 are the 2016 Browns, the 1999 Saints, and the 2003 Giants. Group K has 5 teams from Ohio, the hotbed of football apparently. They can't all advance, but 2 of the Browns teams do. The 1990 Browns and the 1989 Cowboys not only tie for the top spot, they tied their game, so Cleveland will take it based on their inferior point differential. The 78 49ers and the expansion 99 Browns also go through. Group L has the worst non-expansion team of the Super Bowl era in the 1991 Colts, and they prove their lack of worth by going to the top at 1-9. They're followed by this past season's Giants, then we had another 3-way tie with a round robin of results between them. Point differential decided things, sending the 93 Bengals and the 80 Saints onward and sparing the 76 expansion Seahawks. Somewhat surprisingly, we've only seen 1 team go winless in their group. Well, here comes another one, and it's once again the Patriots, this time from 1990. The 2000 Cardinals and another 2024 team, the Panthers, will also move on. And now for another 3-way tie where A beat B, B beat C, and C beat A. Only the 79 Lions had a negative point differential, so they're in the bracket. Group N gave us 6 different ties, and with it, these convoluted standings. The 1970 Bills made it easy on us at the top. The 98 Eagles and the 72 Oilers tied when they played, and the Eagles' point differential was just worse for second place. Then, sadly, the hurricane-afflicted 05 Saints finished 4th. Only 2 groups remain, and from Group O, we get another Patriots team on top with the 72 squad. At least they won a game. The 99 Bengals couldn't beat the 92 Seahawks, leaving them in the 2 and 3 spots respectively, and the 84 Bills take 4th. The 81 Colts, 69 Steelers, and expansion 66 Falcons all find their way out of the bracket. And now for our last group, headed by the worst team of the free agency and salary cap era, and they do not disappoint. The 2009 Rams go winless and sit in first place of Group P. Another tie for second and third place here, the 68 Falcons lost to the 99 Niners, and the 73 Chargers give us our final team. The group standings went from worst to best, but the seeding for the knockout rounds will be from best to worst. Therefore, it's the 4th place finishers who grab the top 4 seeds in a March Madness style 64 team tournament. All tiebreakers are handled by point differential here since none of these teams played head to head. The 1973 San Diego Chargers had the best of it with a 4-6 record and only a negative 3-point differential. They're taking the number 1 seed in the West bracket. The 1966 Miami Dolphins head the East region, the 1980 Saints top the South region, and the 1979 Detroit Lions will be one in the Midwest. From here, everything will snake around until we get to the very end. The 3rd place finishers will occupy seeds 5 through 8, with the reminder that ties count for half a win and half a loss. So a 3-5-2 record, like that held by the 05 49ers, is in practice a 4-6 record. The top 8 seeds will host in the first round, whereas everyone else, starting here with the 2nd place teams, will be going on the road. Specifically, these teams will be placed on the 9 through 12 seed lines. Then we have the first place teams who will take the 13 through 16 seeds. The 1991 Indianapolis Colts join our 3 winless teams as 16 seeds, with the 2009 St. Louis Rams clinching away field disadvantage for the entirety of the tournament. So in order for them to make their exit, they must win on someone else's field. Let's give these brackets a quick preview. The 09 Rams are the lowest seeded team in the West, and they are the clear favorites to come out of the top half. Remember, a team exits the tournament when they win, and move on when they lose, and these Rams have done nothing but lose to this point. In the bottom half, it's actually the 14-seeded 73 Oilers who will be favored to move on, although the 15-seeded 2012 Jaguars should give them a run for their money. On to the Midwest, where once again the 16 seed is favored to reach the regional final. That would be the 1970 Boston Patriots. The bottom half gives us the favorite to capture the Chumpionship, the 14 seed 1976 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though they have the potential opportunity to get a home game at some point. Now for the South, another 16 seed is favored with the 1990 Patriots, but the 9 seed, the 2008 Rams, aren't too far behind, and they will be matching up in the second round if they both lose their opening game as expected. The South's bottom half presents the 11 seed as the favorite, the 1967 Atlanta Falcons, with the 15 seed 2004 San Francisco 49ers breathing down their necks. And lastly, in the Midwest, it's once again the 16 seed favorite up top, the horrific, hard-to-watch 1991 Indianapolis Colts. It's not much closer in the bottom half of the bracket either. That favorite status belongs squarely to the 14 seed, the 1972 New England Patriots. Of course, as we know, anything can happen in a single elimination tournament. We're going to start running down the scores from the top half of the West bracket. As a reminder, once we hit the top 8, we'll start showing some quote-unquote highlights. The 73 Chargers eliminate themselves by defeating the 09 Rams 24-3. The 99 49ers make their escape with a 21-14 win over the 24 Giants. The 2000 Cardinals barely hold on 17-14 to defeat the 05 49ers on the road, and the 84 Bills swamp the 1990 Browns 31-6. With the losers moving on, our first round of 32 game gives us the 2024 New York Giants hosting the 2009 St. Louis Rams. With 0 wins on the board to this point, the Rams remain in that state, limping off with a 35-13 defeat. That guarantees home field for the loser of this one between the 2005 San Francisco 49ers and the 1990 Cleveland Browns. Cleveland made a second half surge, but it wasn't enough, falling to the Niners 17-13. The Sweet 16 gives us a matchup of sadness between the Browns and the Rams, but Cleveland finds its way through behind a big game from Eric Metcalf, walking off the field and out of the tournament with a 28-11 victory. So, as expected, the Rams will play in the West Region Championship game, running their record in this competition to 0-13. Congratulations to them. Now for the bottom half of this bracket. Whichever team emerges will at least know they'll get to host the 09 Rams. The 98 Bengals make a stirring fourth quarter comeback to beat the 78 49ers in San Francisco 21-20. The 91 Buccaneers explode for 17 whole points in beating the 73 Oilers 17-6. The 06 Raiders commit 06 turnovers in a 38-14 loss to the 68 Falcons, and the 05 Saints have their own fourth quarter comeback in a 24-14 victory over the 2012 Jaguars. We head over to the Bay for our next game. The 1978 49ers are set to host the 1973 Houston Oilers. Each team manages only one touchdown, but Houston knocks in 3 field goals for a 16-7 win. We stay in the Bay for the next game, where the 2006 Oakland Raiders will play host to the 2012 Jacksonville Jaguars. The Raiders commit no turnovers in this one and force 4 in a 35-10 slaughter of the Jags. The 49ers will look to avoid losing 3 straight games at home against the Jags. They blew a 10-0 lead and trailed entering the fourth, but a Freddie Solomon touchdown carried them to victory and sends the Jags into the West Regional Final, where we'll get a classic matchup of 15 versus 16. You'll never see that in the NCAAs. It's now time to decide the top half of the East bracket, where we're going to be getting a rare in-season matchup in the knockout stages. But first, we had a thriller where the 1970 Patriots almost got to make their escape, just barely losing to the 66 Dolphins 28-26 on a missed 2-point conversion. The matchup of 1992 between the Seahawks and the Patriots goes to Seattle 24-13. The 93 Bengals absolutely clowned the 2000 Browns 52-21. And lastly, we had the 87 Falcons go on the road and take out the 75 Saints 28-14, in reality, taking themselves out. It's an all-Patriots matchup in the round of 32. The 1992 New England Patriots officially hosting the 1970 Boston Patriots. And I suppose that home field advantage may have worked, with New England defeating Boston 24-10. The winner of this one will play host in the next round. The 1975 New Orleans Saints will welcome the 2000 Cleveland Browns, and it's Cleveland storming back from behind in the fourth quarter to win it 24-21. So the Saints will stay at home to host the Patriots, with both teams looking to make their exit. Only one can, and it was the Saints, laying the absolute smacketh down by a score of 38-7. After almost upsetting the number 1 seed, Boston will instead find itself in the Elite 8, where they are guaranteed to stay on the road. They too search for win number 1. One of these 8 teams in the bottom half of the bracket will now have the honor of welcoming those 1970 Patriots. Nobody wants that honor though, of course. It won't be the 72 Oilers. They needed overtime, but they take out the 99 Bengals 30-24. The 1976 Tampa Bay Buccaneers have found their way out of the tournament, going on the road against the terrible defense of the 1966 Giants and going supernova for a 32-14 win. Unbelievable. The 86 Bucks could get no inspiration from that though, falling 31-21 at home to the 10 Panthers, and the 99 Browns dropped the 11 Colts 28-14, another expansion team able to make their exit. With the 76 Bucks gone, it's open season here. The 1966 New York Giants seek their redemption against the 1999 Cincinnati Bengals. These are two terrible defenses, and it showed in this shootout. The Giants got the ball last and win this one 35-31. Maybe it's the destiny of the 1986 Tampa Bay Buccaneers to take the title. They'll get another shot at home against the 2011 Indianapolis Colts, and they cannot find their way out, losing 29-21. They're going to get one more chance to escape the tournament with a home game against the Bengals. And they finally get the job done, and on defense no less, with a 24-10 victory. Forever stained by not taking the New Orleans Saints trade offer in the 1999 draft, the Cincinnati Bengals will now play in the Elite Eight, where they await the 1970 Boston Patriots. Hey, you wanted Achilles Smith, you got him. We're halfway to the Elite Eight. In the top half of the South region, we have the third team to be winless to this point, the 1990 Patriots. The other two made it to the Elite Eight. Can this Pats team avoid the same fate? Not in the first round. It would help to score any points. They get shut out by the 80 Saints 20-0. The 2010 Cardinals and the 08 Rams had a sloppy but entertaining game, with the Cards winning 31-24. The 15 Titans show their might in a 26-14 win over the 16 Browns. And in maybe the nuttiest game we've ever had, the 2009 Tigers defeat the 2011 Cardinals 8-7. Sorry, I meant to say the Lions defeated the Rams. 8-7 though. We've got a shot at an all-Rams matchup in the Sweet 16. First, we have the 2008 squad playing host to the 1990 New England Patriots, and the Rams will find their way out of here with a 28-19 victory. How will the other Rams team fare? That 2011 unit will be playing host to the 2016 Cleveland Browns, and they get out of here too, dropping the hammer 35-14. The Browns will now host the Patriots, who have gone 0-12 so far. Are they going to be the third completely winless team in the Elite Eight? No, they won't. They handled Cleveland, taking a 17-0 lead before winning 31-10. The Pats become the first 16 seed to play their way out of the tournament. Head coach Rod Rust is carried off the field, even though his players are holding him upside down. And it will instead be the 2016 Cleveland Browns fighting it out to avoid winning the South region. Cleveland's opponent in that South Regional Final will be decided between the 8 teams in the bottom half of the bracket. It might be the 67 Falcons. They took the 68 Eagles to overtime but lost 27-24. The 03 Giants have some remnants of their good offensive team from the season before, squashing the 70 Bills 35-3. The 85 Bucks wake up in the third quarter to defeat the 01 Panthers 20-9, and the 04 49ers went super shredder on the 20 Jets in the first half, taking a 28-0 lead before winning 31-15. It's old school hour in the round of 32, where the 1967 Falcons play host to the 1970 Bills. The Bills have not found their offensive groove at all. They will leave Atlanta with 0 points, eating the 31-0 shutout. The 2020 New York Jets were embarrassed by their loss to the terrible 04 49ers. They'll try and take out their anger on the 2001 Panthers, and they do just enough to win, holding off the Panthers by a 24-16 score. The Panthers will now host the 1970 Bills, who have looked worse than any other team during the first 2 rounds of the knockout stages. And it didn't get a whole lot better in this one. The Panthers stomped the Bills 31-9, somehow allowing Chris Wenke to throw 3 touchdown passes. Yeah, Chris Wenke. So the 1970 Buffalo Bills make the South Regional Final with anti-momentum, and they'll be on the road against the 2016 Browns. Our final region now, the Midwest, starting with the top half. The top-seeded 1979 Lions led 24-0 over the 91 Colts before snatching the victory at 27-14. The 23 Commanders don't stay for too long either, splattering the 98 Eagles 28-13. Another very recent team escapes over an Eagles squad. The 24 Panthers defeat the 72 Eagles 30-10, and the 74 Falcons fly higher than the 76 Jets, crushing them 42-18. The 1998 Philadelphia Eagles will now battle the 1991 Indianapolis Colts in a matchup of truly putrid offenses, and boy did this matchup live up to the billing. Both teams attempted 3 field goals. The Eagles made 1, the Colts made 2. The 16-seeded Indianapolis Colts have found their way out of the tournament with a 6-3 win that could replace waterboarding as the primary form of torture. Could it be an all-Philly matchup in the Sweet 16? The 1972 Eagles will look to avoid that fate at home against the 1976 New York Jets, and they were able to do just that, taking it to them 23-6. They will get to stay in Philadelphia, but they'll need a DeLorean to take on the 98 squad. After losing to the 91 Colts, the Eagles sent out the cheerleaders to play this one, getting hammered by the Jets 31-6. With their heads hung low, and with Eeyore cheering them on from the bleachers, the 1998 Philadelphia Eagles become the highest seeded team so far to make it to the Elite Eight. One more segment to go through here, and we'll be ready for some on-field action. Only the bottom half of the Midwest bracket remains. We open it up with the 2013 Jaguars taking the 77 Buccaneers to the woodshed, 27-7. The 2012 Raiders stomp a mud hole in the 72 Patriots and walk it dry, 31-10. The 89 Cowboys out-slobber-knocker the 99 Saints, 28-24. And the 2023 Panthers run away from the 68 Steelers like scalded dogs in the fourth quarter, losing 20-13. The 76 Bucks were the worst overall team, but the 77 Bucks had the worst offense. They'll see what they can do as hosts against the 1972 New England Patriots, and it's not much. They go down by a score of 16-7. They will face off with the winner of our next game. The hilarious 1999 New Orleans Saints play host to the 2023 Panthers. And after Mike Ditka put on some dreadlocks to distract the officials in overtime, they were awarded a field goal and take the 24-21 win. Old school futility meets new school futility in this matchup between the Bucks and the Panthers. Can Carolina go into Tampa and get a win so they can stay there for a team vacation? They cannot. A 6-0 lead simply wasn't safe, and they were treated like a government mule. They lost 28-6, and in doing so, they make their way into the Midwest Regional Final. Their added punishment? They have to leave Tampa and go to Philadelphia. We've now arrived at the regional final round, also known as the Elite Eight. No big surprises here, every single one of these teams are a bottom 8 seed. Every single team has a sub-negative 25 C-score. 5 are worse than negative 30, and 2 are under negative 40. The best of the bunch at negative 26.426 are the 2023 Carolina Panthers, but they've got to open up on the road. With the 1976 Buccaneers and the 1991 Colts out of here, the 2009 Rams are the favorites. But the only other team without a win yet, the 1970 Boston Patriots, will certainly threaten that position. It's time to get all of this on the field. We open with the 2012 Jacksonville Jaguars getting their first home game of the knockout round against the sad state of affairs that is the 2009 St. Louis Rams. Maybe we can get a good game here between two bad teams. The Rams will start things off hot in the first quarter. Steven Jackson goes right up the middle for a touchdown. In the second quarter, Rashad Jennings for the Jaguars responds right back, up the middle for a touchdown. Before the half ends, off right tackle, Jackson goes in for another one. Now in the fourth quarter, Justin Blackmon catches a touchdown, but Keenan Burton will go up and make that catch. The Rams will tack on a field goal and get out of here with a 24-14 victory. Now that turned out to be a pretty decent game, and with the Rams pulling off the upset, the Jaguars are hereby crowned the champions of the West region. The Nets will be cutting them down as they advance to the Final Four. Next up, we have the 1998 Philadelphia Eagles hosting the 2023 Carolina Panthers. As we said, the Panthers are by C-score the best team remaining, but with this contest being held in Philly, it might just be a pick'em. The Panthers come out firing here. Adam Thielen makes the catch, turns around and runs it in for a touchdown. Now in the second quarter from the goal line, Bryce Young runs it in himself. The comeback attempt begins for the Eagles. That's Irving Fryer with a touchdown. As we move to the third quarter, Eddie Pinheiro for Carolina is going to boot that field goal, and he's going to boot another one to make it 20-7. The Eagles are going to try to come back again, but it ends right here. Deshaun Williams forces the fumble picked up by Camu Grugier-Hill. He runs it back in for the score. The Eagles score one very late, and the Panthers are gonna win this one 27-13. Carolina displayed their quality in this one, with quality being a relative term, of course. The Eeyores remain the highest seeded team still alive, culminating in their Midwest Regional Championship. The South region gets decided right here. It's the season before their winless one, but the 2016 Cleveland Browns were pretty crappy in their own right. They will face off against the 1970 Buffalo Bills. This game will be in Cleveland. After a scoreless first half, Cody Kessler rolls out and finds Gary Barnidge for the touchdown. The Bills respond. This is O.J. Simpson up the middle. He'd been stifled the whole game, but he gets off on this one. We're tied up at 7 apiece. Tommy Farr receives the punt deep in his own territory, doesn't get it out too far, and the Browns respond with a Xavier Cooper safety. They take the ensuing free kick all the way to the 1-yard line, where they kick this field goal to give us our final score of 12-7. Cleveland wins. After 2 road victories in the Elite Eight, a home team finally holds serve. The Browns absolutely crushed the fourth quarter to send themselves packing. Yeah, they won at home, but who wants to actually stay in Cleveland? No Valerie Bertinelli? No chance. The Buffalo Bills celebrate their South Regional Championship by popping the corks on some natty lights. The Final Four will be set after this one, and we've got a chance to have 2 teams from 1970 in there. The Boston Patriots will be on the road in Cincinnati to take on the 1999 Cincinnati Bengals. Who among them shall bring the most dishonor? Doesn't take long at all for the Bengals to get on the board. Jeff Blake to Darnay Scott for the touchdown. The Patriots respond. Bake Turner makes a great catch in the back of the end zone. They go for 2 here, and Jim Nantz runs it in, so Boston leads by 1. Cincy on the attack, but Houston Antwine breaks through for the forced fumble. He'll pick up the fumble, and he's breaking every single tackle attempt here by the Bengals. He gets it all the way back in for the touchdown. Boston up by 8, but Darnay Scott strikes again for the long touchdown. Cuts it to within 1. Before the half is over, Gino Cappelletti will give the Patriots this field goal and a 4-point lead. They've got it back. Ron Sellers makes a diving catch, is able to get up and run it in for the score. Joe Cap's not done going deep. He goes to Turner again for the touchdown. This is an 18-point lead, but the Bengals have the offense to come back. Carl Pickens makes the catch at around the 25 and runs it in for the score. Boston will tack on a field goal. They now lead by 14. The Bengals drive it deep, and Tony McGee will make the touchdown catch. It all depends on the onside kick. The ball's down, but Ron Sellers is going to recover. Boston had a funny way of getting to 35 points, but they get there and win this one, 35-28. What a display by the Patriots. I don't think they scored that many points in their last practice against tackling dummies. It feels like they just held on for the win, but in reality they outscored the Bengals in both halves. Now that the Bengals wear the East Regional Championship around their necks, every single team in this tournament has won at least one game. Hallelujahs from up high. You know, I don't think we can call this the Final Four. There's way too much sadness here. How about the Forlorn Four? There we go. The Eagles are the only franchise among the Forlorn Four who have ever won a Super Bowl, and it took them until 2017 to get that done. The Browns and the Jaguars are two of only 4 franchises who have never been to a Super Bowl. So it seems like we're in line for a couple of eye-gouging contests here. The 98 Eagles have lost 3 straight home games, but they're going to give it one more shot against the 2012 Jaguars. Who will win this battle between a rock band and a car? Philly strikes first late in the first quarter. This is Irving Fryer. He's been the man on offense for Philly at 7-0. This pass from Blaine Gabbert is intercepted by Michael Zordich, ending the drive. Philly can do nothing with it. Jacksonville gets it back. They keep it on the ground. That doesn't make much of a difference, though. Troy Vincent jars the ball loose from Rashad Jennings. The Eagles are going to recover. That's their second takeaway. They're able to turn that into a field goal. They go into the half leading 10-0. Jacksonville goes deep again, but Michael Zordich makes another interception. The third turnover, second interception by Blaine Gabbert, but they can go nowhere with it. Deep in their territory now, Jacksonville will throw another interception. This one is Brian Dawkins. Philly can do nothing with it. The Jags drive deep again, and this time they will get the touchdown to Cecil Shorts. They try Montel Owens on the 2-point conversion. He's fighting, but he's not going to get it. That's going to keep this a 10-6 game. The Jaguars try again, and it's intercepted again by Michael Zordich, his third of the game. Blaine Gabbert's thrown 4. The Jags have turned it over 5 times. This Jeff Graham touchdown late on is going to put it away and give the Eagles a 17-6 victory. We're receiving reports that Blaine Gabbert does not understand the rules of this tournament, so he's stayed in his uniform and has proceeded to throw 2 more interceptions. One to the hot dog vendor and another one to the scoreboard operator. What an arm on that guy. The Jaguars will play in the Grand Championship final, where they are guaranteed to be on the road. This next game is gonna be in Cincinnati, where the 1970 Bills will make the near 400-mile trip by pump trolley to take on the 1999 Bengals. Anything to get that offense into gear. The Bengals have decided as a team and as a coaching staff to all wear Predator face paint for this one. We pick it up in the second quarter off the play action. Dennis Shaw goes deep to Haven Moses. Touchdown Buffalo. Since he's going to respond with a long 50-yard field goal from Doug Pelfrey, that is good. The Bills hand it off to O.J. Simpson, but that ball's loose. Myron Bell will force the fumble. He'll pick it up. He's got one challenger, but he will run it back in for the score, since he will miss the extra point, though. Now it's Haven Moses once again, a leaping touchdown catch, his second of the game. Corey Dillon goes up the middle for the Bengals, breaks a couple tackles. He's streaking down. The Bills pursue and get him at the 23. But a few plays later, this is Tony McGee for the touchdown. The Bengals have now retaken the lead at 16-14. We move on to the fourth quarter where the Bengals have it deep in their own territory. The deep pass to Darnay Scott on third down's knocked away. They're forced to punt, but the Bills are going to come up and block it, giving themselves incredible field position. And for the third time today, Haven Moses with the touchdown. Since he has one chance left with 1 second remaining from Buffalo's 47, Blake's going to throw this across the middle to Willie Jackson. He makes the catch, but Buffalo gets him down here at the 9-yard line. They're going to hold on and win this one 21-16. After scoring 19 total points in their last 4 games combined, the Bills shattered the sound barrier with this one, plopping 21 big ones on the Bengals. Haven Moses has been installed as the mayor of Buffalo, and now the Bengals will be in the Grand Championship game against the 2012 Jaguars. The epic matchup we have all been waiting for. They have bled. They have sweat. They have cried. Their fans have cried. And now, only one game stands between them and the kind of immortality only dreamed of by the likes of Burrito the Flying Donkey. There is no more time to waste. We are ready to get these titans of football on the field. The Bengals waste little time getting the ball driven down to the Jaguar 10-yard line. Changes from both teams on the line. This is play action to Dillon. The pass to Dillon turns into a touchdown. The Bengals will strike first. They take a 7-0 lead. They've got the offense, not so much the defense. Here comes Jacksonville. They're in Cincinnati territory. Blaine Gabbert's going to look downfield for Justin Blackmon. Makes a nice diving catch. The Jags are now in the red zone. Set up at the 1. They run Montel Owens up the middle for the touchdown. Bang, bang. This game is tied up at 7 apiece. The Jags get a stop and get the ball back. We're in the second quarter. They're facing 2nd and 13 from their own 17. Gabbert gets this pass off to Mercedes Lewis. He's going to take it to midfield. They don't go any further, but they flipped field position. Since he's now stuck back at their own 18-yard line, Jeff Blake is taken down by Austin Lane. The ball is loose. It's going to be picked up by the Jags and run in for a touchdown. The third straight Bengals game where a fumble's been returned for a touchdown. This one's C.J. Mosley for the Jaguars, giving them a 14-7 lead. The Bengals are undaunted. They've got a drive going, but it's 3rd and 7. Once again, the play action. This time the pass goes to Carl Pickens. Makes a nice catch at the 18-yard line. Time's ticking away in the first half, 1:15 to go. Since he's going to keep this in the air, Jeff Blake dumps it off to Willie Jackson. He gets it down to inside the 1-yard line. On the next play, Corey Dillon's going to smash through the middle for the touchdown. His second of the half. That's going to tie things up at 14, which will be our halftime score. Now in the second half, the Jaguars face a 3rd and 10. Gabbert drops back. He is going to go to Mercedes Lewis, makes the catch, showing some moves. Lewis, a much younger man in 2012, gets it down to the 31-yard line. They've now got it at the 10. It's 3rd and 7. Gabbert's going to try to step up in the pocket, but Michael Bankston will take him down. Jacksonville will have to kick this field goal. This is Josh Scobie from 32 yards away. It's good. They've taken the lead back at 17-14. The Bengals are on the march here. This is a short pass to Jackson. A slightly deeper one to Darnay Scott. He will eventually go down here. Blake is going to find Scott again. They're moving it methodically. Scott for the 3rd time. Now back to Jackson. The short passing game has been effective. They're going to need it here on 3rd and 2. But Blake looks like he might want more. Goes to the end zone for Darnay Scott. Bodies the defender and scores with 10 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. The Bengals have retaken the lead at 21-17. Set up for an exciting finish here. It's 2nd and 10 for the Jags in their own territory. Gabbert steps back, is going to run. He is going to pick up some good yardage here. He's a better athlete than you think. What a run by Gabbert here. A gain of 31 yards to set Jacksonville up in scoring position. It's 3rd and 5. Gabbert's going to throw. He wants deep for his fullback. That's incomplete. So with time left, they're going to go for it on 4th down. They're going to run this to Rashad Jennings. He has the edge, and he will pick up the 1st down. That'll keep this drive alive. We're down to 2:54 remaining. It's 3rd and 20. Gabbert goes kind of short to Blackmon. That will set up a more convertible 4th down. It's 4th and 12. Gabbert's going to throw again. He's going to go short again to Blackmon. He makes the catch, but it's not enough for the 1st. So since he has a chance to burn this clock, I wonder if they're going to go to Corey Dillon. They do. He picks up some good yardage here. A 1st down. Breaks a tackle. Avoids another. And he's gotten this out past midfield as we've hit the 2-minute warning. Since he goes to Dillon again on 1st and 2nd down, it's now 3rd and 4. They're going to run him once more up the middle. Jacksonville's up to the task. They get him down at the 35, and the Bengals are going to play this super safe. punting from the 35, essentially trying to push Jacksonville back 15 yards while still knocking some time off the clock. That's exactly what happens here with the touchback. The Jags had it at the 20, they've moved it now to the 28. On 3rd and 2, they run Montel Owens. He's going to move the chains, but the clock is not on their side here. They've still got to get this down to the end zone with 46 seconds remaining. They will throw, but instead Gabbert's going to run, and he's going to pick up another big run here, cuts it out to the sideline. Very important yardage here. Takeo Spikes, though, will knock the ball loose, and the Bengals will recover. What a huge play there by Spikes, and after all that, the Bengals defense is going to win them this game 21-17. Hey, at least we got a close game out of that one. They say nobody remembers who finishes second, so the 99 Bengals will happily hop along and hope to fade into obscurity. On the other hand, the 2012 Jacksonville Jaguars received their spot at the end of this bracket, laying claim to the absolute grand champion of the Super Bowl era. A lavish ceremony was held for them about 75 miles off the coast of Norway, where owner Shahid Khan, general manager Gene Smith, and head coach Mike Mularkey were awash with glory upon receipt of the Toilet Bowl trophy. You've earned it, my friends. You've earned it. Hopefully you all had a little fun with this one. I had no plans on making it until I was challenged to do so in the comments section of our previous tournament. And, well, I can resist everything except for temptation. Those initial comments came from George Reeves Jr. 8289 and Eclipse 528, so thank you for that. This was a blast. None hail the 2012 Jacksonville Jaguars. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of this one, and until next time, I hope you have an awesome day.